This spot is one of the top most Instagram restaurants in the country.
Somebody just starting out in this business, I would tell them, educate yourself. The fourth generation around, it reminds me that we have a reason to continue.
Are you serious? Or are you kidding?
I'm dead serious.
Welcome back to CHOMP, brought to you by the Restaurant Association. I'm your host, Alina Sanu, and today we're here in San Pedro at the San Pedro Fish Market. Find out how this family-ran restaurant has gone through 4 generations and is still going strong today. When we come back, you'll learn which of their signature dishes is served over 30,000 times per week. I am here today with Mike, the owner and CEO of San Pedro Fish Market.
So my grandfather was the original founder, along with my dad and my uncle Tommy. And that was way back in 1956. Fast forwarding to the 80s, when I was about 11 years old, we had a business down the way here called Norm's Landing. And we had that all through the 70s. I think we might have moved into that building in 1959.
Oh, okay.
And then so this area was getting redeveloped in the early 80s. We got pushed out, they're redeveloping. We worked a deal to reopen a San Pedro Fish Market, which is what the sign behind us was originally painted for.
This is the original sign?
1981, I think. We opened the restaurant Good Friday, 1982. I'm 11, so I never stopped after that.
My name is Tommy Amalfitano. At one time, I was the boss. 57 years, I think I did my duty. See, there's 2 families involved. My last name's Amalfitano. Mike is Angaro. Him and I were just like brothers. Our grandparents grew up together in Italy, and when they immigrated here to the United States, San Pedro was a vibrant fishing port. So they came and they were fishermen, and we all lived in the same thing. So we've been together for way over 100 years.
Wow, talk about family ties. Whoever said don't mix business with family clearly never met this crew, because these folks turned seafood into a family superpower. Let's dive in and see how the San Pedro Fish Market really got reeled into existence.
Michael's grandfather, when we were kids, he bought a little fish market. I mean, little. It was 10 by 10. And he come to us one day, we're 16 or 17 years old, and he said, okay, you guys, this is it. Now, we went to work when we were like 14.
Oh, wow.
After school, we had to go there every day. We went, this little spot was up in town, and another guy went broke right down here on the waterfront, right where we're standing, actually. And he went broke, and he comes down and he says, come on with me. So we come down, and he tells the guy, hey, what's happening? The guy says, I'm broke, I ran out of deal. He pulls some money out of his pocket. He goes, here's $500. You're out of here. We own the fish market now.
Oh my goodness.
After that, everything was history.
Let's check back in with Mike, where he's about to give us a sneak peek at San Pedro Fish Market's latest facelift.
We're standing on the new promenade of West Harbor.
Okay.
This is what's just been built, that's under construction. You see these buildings over here that are coming up soon.
Okay.
1959, we came down here and we're kind of right around where this dirt lot is in a place called Norm's Landing. And I told the story about 1982, we moved and opened San Pedro Fish Market. Well, that would have been right over here where this deck is, and you can see some railing around, and there's sort of a blue crane, and there's a boat parked right outside. That was where San Pedro Fish Market and Krusty Krab were. There's another 100 yards that way, which is where we call it the landing, as a throwback to Norm's Landing when we originally started. I think we called this landing phase 1. So we moved into phase 1.5, which is where we're currently operating today. When we opened the business, it was kind of an experiment, right? We had fish markets before, and you could get corn on the cob and shrimp cocktails and the smoked fish, but we never had like the restaurant concept. And so what Tommy recently told me, literally like about a year and a half ago, because I didn't understand this at the time, I was really young. I go, why did we get into the restaurant part of it? And he goes, well, if you were following history in the late 70s, 80s, you had McDonald's, you had Burger King, you had Jack in the Box. People were not going to buy food at the grocery store and taking it home to cook. So we were worried with the fish market concept where people are still going to buy and take it home. So we thought, let's do a fast food service where you can walk up to the counter and get fish and chips or a swordfish sandwich or fried calamari. And we had at the time 300 seats outside on the waterfront. And then our restaurant concept was actually a lot more like, if you know or remember, like what Sizzler was like in the year, which was like kind of one of the original fast casual concepts. That's how we got into the food service part of it. And for an extra $1 a pound, we'll cook the fish outside and the smoke will go up and it'll be kind of cool. There was this weird situation where they're like, Mike, you're the only one that went to school. Can you help us figure out what everyone was doing on the office side of the business? And it's because I had worked in banking. I'm like, oh, this is a banking issue. I was, oh, this is an insurance issue. I worked in insurance. Oh, this is something we needed because I had my own little restaurant for a while. And all those sort of failures put me in this weird situation where I had a very unique outlook and ability to look at the business differently. Rather than just kind of being head down, butt up, working in the business, which is necessary and great, I could zoom out and really look at the enterprise in a bigger way. And that's how we eventually sort of become more of a media company and more of a brand. We have 4 Guinness World Records. They're all for our Port of Los Angeles Lobster Festival. We shoot the lobsters for it. Our first record was supposed to be for lobster, but they wouldn't let us put lobster on, so it was seafood. So we sold thousands of pounds of seafood over 8 hours. Then we said, tell you what, we want to put lobster on here. Can we do 3 in a single day? So one was how many lobsters in a single vessel served, cooked at one time, and then served over a course of like 8 hours.
Oh my God.
We set all 3 of them.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to talk to you for a minute about the Restaurant Association. You can sign up for free at restaurantassociation.com, where they have a ton of resources from marketing to sales to anything you need. Also, if you sign up, you could maybe be featured in an upcoming episode of CHOMP. How do you scale a kitchen to meet such a high demand? There's so many people.
I will show you. So what we do, our systems for cooking, the majority of what we do is trays of seafood, which are very simple to make. The thing that sets us apart is, one, the customer's picking out their own seafood, and 2, the different seasoning options we have, but we've streamlined the process of producing them so they can get done in just a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Some things take longer. Let's say, like, I want to buy this like 10-pound Mexican sea bass and barbecue it. Well, that's going to be like an hour and a half. But if you want to just go with the standard trays, most of the ways we cook it is very fast, very griddle friendly, boiling water, put it together, boom, send it out, and works out.
Running a spot like this is impressive on its own, but repeating the formula for success? That's next level. You have a couple different locations. How do you keep the quality of the food consistent everywhere?
Yeah, that was such a big issue. It's funny, it's switching. So when we first did Long Beach, everything was brand new and people would complain, the flavor's not the same, this is not the same. And you're trying to understand, is the flavor actually different? Are the grills not seasoned? Are we not? What we tried to do there for inventory control is like, we're only going to use this little cup of seasoning. Whereas over here, they're just throwing it on and on, right?
Yeah.
So we had to standardize everything. And it's to the point now where I just noticed in post yesterday, people prefer Long Beach over this place because the flavor is better. And I'm like, well, how did that switch? And I don't know if that's actually true or if it's just a perception because they don't want to be in this parking lot versus the Long Beach has a beautiful view of the marina.
Right.
It actually faces the sunset where we face the sunrise. They kind of face each other.
Cool.
So sometimes you have to dig in a little bit more and ask questions, and you find out it's not really about the food or the seasoning, it's about the experience that people are used to.
Yeah.
Here is a lot of do it yourself, right? In the past, you'd have to wait in line to get in, wait in line to buy fish, wait in line to drop fish off at the kitchen, wait in line to get a beer, wait in line to get a sandwich. There's like 6 lines, and then people that have been coming for a long time would say, you go save the tables, we'll wait in the lines. Long Beach, it's more of a traditional restaurant where you sit down and you can actually enjoy the sunset while all the food and drinks are run to you. Here, you're scanning QR codes and running it to you. So we're trying to do is pick the best combination of the systems and integrate that moving forward. Like the location we're going to open in Monterey is going to have a separate kitchen and a separate fish market, so you can pick out your fish, bring it to the kitchen, and sit down, and then go pick it up and bring it back, I think. But you'll be able to actually scan for some other things that get run to your table. So we're testing these hybrids. But it's all going to depend on what the customer likes. This is a full kitchen, this was all designed specifically to our needs. You've got prep, you've got fryers. Some of these we actually fill with water instead of oil because we'll put shrimp or scallops or things that can be sort of parboiled. You know, sometimes it's getting fried, sometimes it's getting boiled, and then it'll go on the grill where it gets like it's seasoning and final prep before it's going into a tray. For all the locations we've done and everything that we've built, this is the largest single kitchen. And it's the most efficient because as we were growing in our original location, we would just like build a kitchen over there tomorrow, build a kitchen over here, throw some grills. So everything was very like disjointed, and it was designed to survive and deal with the growing crowds. It wasn't designed strategically to work like effectively. On the other side over here is all the storage. So
Oh my goodness.
and you have dry storage on these sides. Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a freezer.
That's a freezer. What kinds of things do you store in the freezer?
Shrimp, most of our shrimp comes frozen. Alaskan king crab, lobster tails, octopus. A lot of stuff that comes from overseas comes frozen. It gets thawed out in the other walk-ins and then goes to the grills and gets cooked.
Oh, sorry, Mommy.
Typical shrimp sales are about 200 tons a year. So was that 5,000 to 6,000 pounds? But yeah, that was what we're selling.
Yeah.
Because of the volume that we're doing. So you really have to have deliveries here at least once a day to keep it all working.
Wow.
This is a basic size shrimp that it comes in our normal shrimp tray. Spot prawns, which are a head on, tail on. This is a more flavorful fish because you still have the skeleton of it. These are our potatoes. These potatoes are pre-cooked already in hot water.
We have a commissary and there's a person in charge of purchasing, director of purchasing that works there. Eli currently is who's handling that, although that's going to change because he's moving into another role. And then the general managers for each location ultimately are responsible for the location and coordinate with the commissary and then make sure it all gets uploaded into the system for us to manage.
Over 30,000 of these shrimp trays fly out every week. 30,000! It's seafood heaven, piled high with shrimp, potatoes, veggies, and garlic bread. And the best part, you can mix it up 100 different ways. Absolute madness.
In order to service 1,600 seats outdoor, you need a 60-foot container, you need all that prep area, you need all the dishwashing area, the food area, you need the cold, freezing, and a lot of dry storage.
So much storage. And how do you manage that high level of inventory and perishables?
Well, you know, we've been evolved. So I think we've done it for so long, we've evolved into it. But for a long time, we had no inventory system. It was just buy and sell, try to keep everything in stock. But as we've implemented more and more technology, all these systems talk to one another and the payroll systems that we use. So it's a lot easier now to manage that. So the guys every Monday, the teams, they have to do their own inventory. It all needs to match up. It all needs to be entered in. And then, new practices. What do you think?
Mike, what a feast. I don't even know where to start. What do we have here?
You've never been here before, the initiation is you have to eat the eyeball first. There's one here. Here, let's see if I can get this one out for you. Instagram used to list the most Instagram restaurants in the U.S. I think for 3 years we were in their top 10. It's like 6, 7, or 5, 3. And really that wasn't us. That was our customers geotagging themselves and sharing these photos. I don't have a lot of input or impact on the menu items so much. Really what I focus on that we weren't doing is telling our story.
This is the first ever world famous shrimp eating championship presented by Kings of Fish, the Great One.
I knew that we had really great stories. I was studying storytelling a lot, and I just realized it was such a missing part of who we were that nobody knew the story. You'd go onto social media, which was becoming big, like 20, 15 years ago, and people thought we were like a seafood swap meet. They had no idea who the ownership was. They didn't know the history. They thought, that guy that works in the kitchen owns everything. So there was just all these misinformed narratives. So what I really did was I came and refined the brand. So we just had one logo instead of 25 different ones from every t-shirt person in the country that made us a shirt. Let's have one brand. Let's trademark it. Let's own it. Let's build that. I created a line of frozen meals in grocery stores that I did do for a while.
Oh, wow.
I made sure that all of our seasoning and branding was the same and uniform and packaged so that we could put that into retail and sell online. So really my focus has been more on the outside of the business. Tell the story and then integrate these product lines into the stories. And that's really what I've done.
A lot of business owners really fear change when it comes to building up their business, but it seems like you're always innovating and evolving. What drives you to pursue change?
I think if you don't innovate, you die. That's really what I think. And a lot of I noticed, I've thought that way for a long time. I've studied innovation a lot, but I think we're that. And oh, by the way, all of our success was from the family always trying new things. You know, we didn't have sausage that we have in here until recently, maybe 6 years ago. Oh, wow. And I thought it was insane to add sausage. But Tommy and my uncle's like, hey, we're gonna add sausage. He bought all these sausages. I'm like, no one's gonna, and corn on the cob. We always had corn on the cob, but it was never in the tray. So when we added it as something that you could put in the window and add, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of pounds of corn and sausage are getting sold. Wow. So the idea of constantly innovating, testing, trying things is really kind of a big focal point of my family's philosophy around success. For me, what I would notice and where it showed up was during the pandemic, a lot of people local businesses in town really didn't know what to do. So they just thought, we'll just wait till it ends. And they didn't adopt things like DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything. And we did. We jumped right on that wagon. I said, we're going to do this. Got the whole business team together. I go, first of all, we're not going to make a profit here. What we're going to do is make sure that people can get food to eat so we can keep people working and pay our vendors. So we took a version of this and we shrunk it down to like a $19.99 tray that could feed a family of 4. And we plugged it into Uber Eats and actually it was Grubhub. Grubhub, Uber Eats, I think we tried DoorDash. And for the first time, all these locals were like, I didn't like coming down here because of the crowds. So I've never been down there before, but now you're delivering it to my house, and no wonder the crowds are so big in the line, so long as food's awesome. Mm-hmm. So one is we were able to innovate to get through. We built our brand as a result, and we actually helped to build our local identity in a community where we've been for 70 years. Didn't know what we did. Isn't that crazy? So that's crazy. The innovation all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Change is hard. People don't like it. They're scared of it, but if you don't do it, it can really be to your demise. Definitely. You can stick to your cores and do the same thing. Like the tray is fundamentally the same. We innovate inside of it, though, to give people something new.
You have so much to your operation here. How do you manage your vision with your day-to-day activities?
Oh man, it's such a great question, because when you're in a family of entrepreneurs, everybody has an idea of how you should do something different and better. And what would happen is we had all these sort of fractured ideas. Like in other words, we've had an e-commerce retail offer for a long time, but I've never been really satisfied with how it grew. Mm-hmm. And what I realized was we're good at certain things. Doesn't mean we can't have good ideas or a vision, but if you're going to grow into an area you're not familiar with, you have to build a separate team of experts to do that, or you have to stop everything else you're doing and just dive in and learn it.
Our strategic plan is to get to $1 billion in value by the end of the 10-year goal. Family style, so you can come with 2 to 3 generations of family and spend the day with us on the LA waterfront. That's what made us famous. That's what we had been doing for the last 6 decades. So,
I've read all these studies that family-owned businesses fall apart at the 4th generation. Because the 4th generation is so far removed from the founding principles and for whatever reason, and there's always different reasons why this happens, they tend to not be as connected to it. Sometimes it's entitlement, sometimes they're not interested, sometimes they're doing something else. My main focus was how do we ensure the sustainability of the business, because it's not just taking care of the blood relatives. We have people that have worked for us for 20 and 30 years or more, and their families work here. So what I did was a couple of things. We talked about seafood brand. Mm-hmm. What I've tried to do is really diversify what the business can offer people. So instead of just like, hey, come down here and like I had to do and scale fish and gut fish and get dirty, we actually have a whole media company. We have a big need for IT. Mm-hmm. There's an entire HR department we had to build out. There's all kinds of stuff that you can learn in operations and working in the kitchen and working in the fish market. And then there's marketing. We realized that we were really good at running the one location, but when we went to multiple locations, it's not our strong suit. Gotcha. Because we didn't set up systems that could be scaled effectively. And when I started asking people in my family, or they even work for us, what makes it successful, what works, I started seeing everybody had a different story about that. Mm-hmm. So our company runs on EOS, which is a great program that helps really refine and focus what the business is and what the roles are and who's accountable for what and what metrics we track. And really like the overall goal for me is to take us from being just this family-run business to being more of a professional family enterprise. I have a friend named Ron Macklin. He has a coaching program called the Macklin Connection, which is really about helping people believe in themselves and really be accountable and self-led. So instead of like coming in and go, just tell me what to do so I can do my job and go home for the day, he goes, no, what I really want you to do is shine today. I want you to own your role. I want you to do a great job, and I don't want to have to tell you to do it. I want you to love it. So anything that we do in the business, it's not just training, it's getting in there and pragmatically doing it over and over again. And when you stop, you lose the skill set. The more you practice and train your body to do it, the better you get at it.
And while their empire is growing, we're going to give you the same great experience, but we're going to take it to the next level.
People can't wait to come in here and eat.
Like over the decades, we had like a Croatian customer base for a while, we had Filipino customer base for a while, we had a Japanese customer base for a while, we had Samoan customer base for a while, and then in the 80s it became primarily Latino. So not just Mexico, but like a lot of South American cultures would come in, and I don't think that ever ended. That just sort of became the dominant customer base for a really long time now. Yeah. So we have like a very diverse group of families that come here, but really what it became down to is sort of the blue collar worker that worked all week long and wanted a place to go spend their family that was close to the water with a high quality seafood meal that you normally wouldn't be able to get.
That's amazing.
That's sort of the evolution of the brand.
Yeah.
And I was there from age 12 through. I did leave a few times, worked in banking, worked in insurance, hated it, came back. Used all my knowledge from those failures to actually help leadership. Always work to stay as grounded as possible.
Yeah.
And fundamentals. I think one of the most common ones that fails us is I just need to work harder. Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with the hard work, but it's really about being effective in what you're producing. Mm-hmm. So the idea that hard work is enough, I think, can be a killer if you're not careful.
Definitely. Hard work needs to be grounded in strategy and a plan.
Yes. Yeah. What I've learned about hard work from one of my best mentors, teachers, is the only thing it guarantees is fatigue. So if your goal is, I'm going to figure out how to open this new location, great. Let's identify all the parts of the story, because that's our strategy, and then our timeline and our tactics, so we can launch on it, stay on budget, stay on schedule, get it done. And it doesn't happen very often because it's hard to follow. But the more you have a plan and a budget, the easier it is for you to stay in line, get things done, and actually produce the outcomes that you want to produce. That's a big part of business philosophy for me, is educate yourself, learn about innovation, learn about storytelling, learn about accountability, and work as a team together.
Definitely.
Lone Rangers die.
What is your favorite part about having worked at San Pedro Fish Market?
The customers.
The customers?
Heck yeah, they're the best in the West. I mean, all of our clients still to today. I come down and I talk to them and say hi to them. I say to all the crew and everything. And
oh, that's great.
The customers make me smile.
Oh.
People only listen what they care about. And what we miss sometimes is know your audience and speak to the things they care about, because the rest just goes in one ear and out the other. So especially if you're going to be a leader and you're trying to really mobilize and not motivate, because the other thing I would say, it's more important to mobilize your people than motivate, because motivation wears off. But mobilization means that you've spoken to them in a way that they can connect to why they care about it, how it actually helps benefit them, and that you're there for them for that.
Yeah.
So the more that you can produce mobilization, the more effective your leadership will be. And I think that's huge too.
Our intention is a new location every year for the next decade. 14 locations, Las Vegas, Phoenix, maybe San Francisco. We're looking at San Diego. Anaheim's reached out to us for a lot of the expansion they're doing in that area and the resort area. And then, I don't know, New York, Florida, Texas. We'll see. Well, we're open.
Thanks so much for joining us today on this episode of CHOMP, and thank you, Mike, for having us here.
It's been great to be with you. Thank you for having me as a host. We had some great food, some great stories, great weather.
Yes, we did.
You can find us at startwithsanpedrofish.com. Access to all of our information online, and you can buy stuff on our Amazon. You can watch Kings of Fish, which is a story about our family business and everything we talked about today, which is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. It's also on our YouTube page at San Pedro Fish, and at San Pedro Fish is basically across the board for all of our social media sites, from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook. So